I'm Chuck Smith, author of The Peaceful Classroom, published by Griffin House. I began working on that book when I was a graduate student back at Purdue a long time ago, and my focus then was on the child as a person. I knew that letters and colors, quantities, and all those issues, academic issues, are very important, even with very young kids, learning those things. But what I wanted to do then was really focus on the child as a person. And as I began developing some of my ideas there, I went on to Bowling Green State University, and I had my first class of 4-year-old kids. So I had that opportunity to begin trying to implement some of the ideas that I had in activities with them. And I continued doing that when I went on to Texas Tech, and I taught in their laboratory there, as well as the director of their Child Development Center. And then eventually that work, fortunately, was published by Griffin House in 1993, way back quite a few years ago. And that book, I'm very proud of that book. It focuses on issues that deal with cooperation and compassion, kindness, those kinds of issues that I think are very important for the child as a person. But as I worked on this material and as I was getting ready for the book for Griffin House, I realized it's more than just that. We're talking about providing tools, activities, 162, I think, wonderful activities that will help teachers create what I would call a caring community. And I'm proud of that book, not just because it was published in 5 different languages and accepted by the Benjamin Franklin Award people, but I'm proud because the teachers themselves who have kept this book in print for that period of time and have told me over the years as I've done workshops and trainings, they've come up to me and talked to me about how important those activities have been for them. Because when you create a caring community, it's not just something among children. The teachers themselves are a part of that, so they feel involved in a very enjoyable and productive way. One of the NAEYC conferences that I went to, probably maybe 10 years ago, I was walking through the exhibit area, and I had a teacher walk up to me. I did not know this person at all. She tapped me on the shoulder, and she said, "Are you Chuck Smith?" I said, "Yes." And she was in a hurry. I mean, it was obvious that the way she was holding herself. And she said, "You published The Peaceful Classroom, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "That book changed my life." And then she turned and walked on. And I will never forget that really brief moment. And when you're an author and you're sitting there at your desk and you're working hard on something, you never know how it's actually going to be implemented and used. So it was wonderful to see that kind of effect that Peaceful Classroom has had on teachers and their children ever since 1993. And I look forward to continued opportunities working with Griffin House and with teachers around the country looking at this issue of how do we incorporate the personal development issue, the compassion, understanding of emotions, and maybe even more importantly, how do we develop these creating communities? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what's the highest part of Maslow's hierarchy? So-called self-actualization. I don't think that's correct. I think there's another level beyond that, and that involves a sense of community and growing together and being together and caring about each other as a group. That's what the Peaceful Classroom is all about.